Hello everyone, we will be continuing with chapter 2 and focusing on types of intelligence tests. In this video, we will be studying the types of intelligence tests that are according to the administration method and the material that is used. So under administration method, we have two tests, that is individual tests and group tests of intelligence. Material used, we will find verbal test of intelligence and non-verbal test of intelligence. Individual tests, as the name suggests, an individual test is administered to one person at a time. Let us now look at the advantages. Rapport. Since the participant is alone, the psychologist has the time and space to establish a rapport. The aim of a rapport is to help the participant get comfortable and to reduce anxiety, which can affect the test result. In rapport, the client can also be asked about any physiological changes that he is experiencing during the test, like headache, anxiety, worry, fatigue, etc. The next advantage is additional information. In additional information, the psychologist can take a case history of the participant, where the participant is asked a lot of questions about himself, his birth, his childhood, adulthood, lifestyle, habits, likes, dislikes, etc. Even academic and work performance can be asked. This helps in getting a holistic view of the person, especially which will be useful in coming up with the diagnosis. The next advantage is creative thinking. Some of these tests make the participant come up with new ideas and think out of the box. Moving on to the disadvantages. The first disadvantage is time consuming. Second one is costly. Time consuming and costly is because individual tests, if it has to be created, it takes a lot of time and a lot of cost, as resources need to be arranged by the psychologist. The next pointer is requires training and skillful examiner to administer, score and interpret. Individual tests require a highly skilled and experienced test administrator. He must have specialized knowledge of the testing procedures and test administrations, like how to administer the test and what all instructions have to be told. Because here in individual tests, the client will not have any idea how to do the test. Moving on to group tests, as the name suggests, group tests are administered to a group of people at a time. Let us see the advantages. The first advantage is that it is less time consuming and economical as compared to the individual test. Moving on to group tests, as the name suggests, group tests are administered to a group of people at a time. Let us see the advantages. The first advantage is that it is less time consuming and economical as compared to the individual test. This is because a group test is majorly a paper pencil test and the resources required for this is minimal, and it can be administered to a large number of people all at once. The second advantage is the role of the examiner is minimal and there is no need of specialized training. This is because in the paper pencil test, it is self-explanatory to the client and there will be no need for giving extra information to the client. Coming on to the disadvantages, lesser opportunity to establish rapport and obtain cooperation and maintain interest of the client. As we know that in group tests, the number of people present for writing the test is many. It is impossible for the psychologist to ask each and every person how they feel and how comfortable they are, motivate them to continue the test. It is also difficult for the psychologist to note down each and every person's reactions towards the test, and this makes rapport establishment difficult. The second one is that it is less capable of measuring creative aspect of intelligence. Group tests are usually paper pencil tests, and this is usually also in the form of MCQs. This gives a very little room for the creative aspect to be tested in clients. The examples are Raven Standard Progressive Matrices, Army Alpha Test, Army General Classification Tests. This one that you see here is Raven's Progressive Matrices test. Moving on to verbal tests. A verbal test is one in which the instructions and the items are reproduced usually through the written language before the exercise. This means that the instructions and the questions that are asked to the client are in a language, and the client also has to respond to the test questions in language, and there is no scope for any gestures or performance in such tests. I hope that is clear. Moving on to advantages. The first advantage is it is suitable for the measurement of higher mental abilities. Now, in verbal tests, there can be questions of what if the world ends, what you can fly. So, in this, the person is able to express himself, and we can understand how the person is able to think in the given situation of impossible. Then it is suitable to differentiate an average intelligent person from an above intelligent person. Because of the varied responses of these clients, it is easily understood who will be an average person and who will be an above average person with the help of the norms. The disadvantages: it cannot be given to people with different linguistic backgrounds, illiterate people, and small children. It is clear that these tests use language in them. So if you are not if you're not educated, you will not know the language in which the questions are asked. For example, if the questions are asked in English and the person is illiterate, the person will not be able to understand a single question in this particular test. The second one is culture bound. Now, because the test is formulated in a particular language, suppose English, the culture around the language will be asked in the questions. The examples of verbal tests are Wechsler's Adult Intelligence Test and Army Alpha Test. Here on the screen, I have put a photo of the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Test. Moving on to non-verbal tests. In non-verbal tests, the client is not required to answer any of the questions with a language. It's mostly in terms of performance. They are given puzzles or a paper pencil test that has to be done, and the client need not express himself. Advantages: it can be given to people with different linguistic backgrounds, illiterate people, and small children. It can be administered on differently abled people. It is culture free. Now, coming to the third point, it is culture free because, irrespective of the background you're coming from, simple things like puzzles, anybody would be able to do. For example, if you see in this particular picture, in nonverbal tests, the client is not required to answer any of the questions with a language. It's mostly in terms of performance. They are given puzzles or a paper pencil test that has to be done, and the client need not express himself. Advantages: it can be given to people with different linguistic backgrounds, illiterate people, and small children. It can be administered on differently abled people. It is culture free. Now, coming to the third point, it is culture free because, irrespective of the background you're coming from, simple things like puzzles, anybody would be able to do. For example, if you see, this is a particular card that is given to the client. This test is called the Alexander Pass Along test, and the client is expected to make the same design in this box using the blue and red blocks. So we have finished with the topic, and you must study well, and the best way to study is to make notes, Revision is a must for scoring well in exams, and you must try and do this before you sleep so that you are able to memorize each and everything while you sleep. If you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.